What's up, everybody? Welcome to the inaugural HDS Podcast, where we exist above the nonsense. I'm your host, Harrison D. Seggebruch, and I'm also your guide to going from automaton to autonomous. What's that mean? Automaton to autonomous? So, I believe that people should be well-rounded, free-thinking, free-living, independent individuals, able to think for themselves, make their own mistakes, be responsible for their choices, learn and grow from those choices and experiences, be able to protect and provide for themselves, and to be unique and to be honest and true to yourself, to not just walk in a straight line and do what's easy or do what's popular, but to be true to yourself and what you really believe and feel deep down inside, and express that outwardly and openly and proudly. But, some people think that the good of the group outweighs the good of the individual. But that doesn't make any sense to me, because how can you have a well-functioning group if you don't have well-functioning components or pieces of that group? So if we're not taking responsibility on an individual level, and we're not saying that the individual, because I believe that the good of the collective, the good of the group, is the good of the individual. And the good of the individual is taking care of their own wellness. In every layer of wellness, you have to, just like all the components of the group have to be well-functioning, all the components of the individual have to be well-functioning. In the HDS Wellness Universe, some of those components that we focus on the internal spectrum are mental wellness, physical wellness, emotional wellness, and spiritual wellness. On the external spectrum, some of the components of wellness that we focus on, now they're external, so we don't have as much control over them, but we do have great influence upon them. But our social wellness, our environmental wellness, our occupational wellness, and our financial wellness. And I want to ask you, why do you think that more people aren't well these days? Why is there so many mindless, dependent conformists out there? Why is it such an issue that we have to be told and taught to take care of our health and our wellness and our well-being? Well, if you ask me, it's because there is a secret war going on, what I call the war on conscious energy. And so if there's a war going on, someone has to be waging that war. Who's waging that war? Well, it's the people versus the elitist ones, the people at the top of the world, billionaires, trillionaire families, corporate interest groups that have lots of money and power at stake in the game, and also corrupt folks in certain governments that do the bidding of these families or these groups, and how these three, let's call them players on the chessboard, sort of work together. The interest groups might do favors for the families might have certain interests or intentions that they need help of the governments or the groups, and it all works back and forth for corrupt reasons, which are definitely not to the benefit of the average person, the average citizen, you and me. Now, before you go thinking this is some sort of crazy conspiracy theory, let's just think about it. It's really just common sense. These are very wealthy, powerful people. They really, maybe not actually wealthy, because if they were wealthy, they'd be happier. But these are very rich, powerful people, and they simply put, they're good at making money. That's how their businesses are so successful, and that's what they want to keep doing. They just want to keep life the way that it is for them, which is at the detriment of you and me, the average person. So it's really not any sort of crazy, wild, outlandish claim so much as it is just common sense to see that these people at the very top of things just want to live, their life the way that they're living it, with all their power and control and the wealth and the riches. But they, if everybody has that, then they're not on their pedestal. So they want to keep that divide, and they want to keep their power powerful, and they want to keep making us weaker so we can't do nothing about it. So that's why they create these sorts of things that I call fake realities versus the survival reality, which is the only real reality that you live in that really affects your life. So example of fake reality is they will put on social media and the news, and they'll put all on all these screens that you're going to inevitably see, and they're going to distract you with these heartbreaking world issues and these very emotional stories that are going to trigger you, going to make you angry, going to make you mad, going to make you happy. No matter what the issue, the emotion that they're trying to get you to concentrate is, it's a distraction away from you focusing on what truly matters and what would truly get you ahead in your life, and that is your day-to-day life, your day-to-day issues, and your wellness, and getting yourself ahead in your own life and putting yourself on a platform that maybe one day you can actually impact things on a global level. But if you're always ever focused on the fake reality nonsense and you're never putting yourself and your wellness and your life and your goals first, then you're never going to earn up to a platform that can actually make a difference. And so that's why they keep you distracted with fake bullcrap instead of the real reality, which is your health and your wealth and your happiness and your future and your goals. See, what they understand is they already have all the riches and power, so they can buy up whatever they want. But they need you to essentially run and build it for them, because they don't want to do that sort of laborious work. They just want to live in opulence and luxury. So if they can win over your mind, that is the new real estate to them. Because again, they already have all the riches and power. If they want some land or property or something, they can just go get that. They'll buy it or negotiate it or whatever. But what they need is your mind. Your mind is the new real estate, because where your mind goes, your body will follow. Well, they need your mind to be bought into their causes and their intentions, so that you essentially your body will follow along and do the actions, do the deeds that they have manipulated into thinking is supporting their cause, which they've masked with a good cause. They might make you think you're doing something noble and altruistic, when in reality you're just supporting their company and giving them money and support, and then they're off and free to sort of do whatever they choose or please. But if we can keep focused and we can stay grounded in the survival reality and understand that really all that matters as an individual is our personal wellness issues, on those 8 spectrums I mentioned earlier: physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, occupational, financial, social, and environmental. If we can really be constantly improving ourselves on those areas and not caught up in the rat race and the he said, she said, and the competitive game of where we're comparing each other's life on social media, then we can get back to our own and just start making ourselves better and start improving our lives from the inside out. And eventually that will help improve the world, because if we can make the individual well, then they can be free to go heal the world and make the next individual well, and so on and so forth. And this is the point where we start to take control of our lives. We go from the human experiment, which is what the elites are conducting on us when we are automatons, and they can just kind of push us around as they please and see how we react. And that's the human experiment. They just plug some things in and see what happens. That's science, right? But when we become autonomous and we decide to take responsibility for ourselves and our lives and our wellness, we take control of this, and it now becomes the human experience, where we're experiencing our own lives and we're experiencing our choices, and we get to choose in those experiences how we react. We can go good, we can go bad, we can go positive, we can go negative, but we get to choose, and we're not just being pushed through a funnel into a machine that helps support their way of life and is to the detriment of our own. See, when we're just part of the human experiment, we're little more than the human animal. We're lost, we're hurt, we're broken, we're triggered by emotion, we're not thinking clearly, and that's where they want people, because then there's chaos, and chaos breeds opportunity for war, for profiting, for control. But as soon as we start to take responsibility and we start to focus back on the survival reality, and we start to ground ourselves in our wellness and what really matters, then we start to become the human athlete, where now we can sort of run through the experience and make the most of it. And if we really take it to the top level, if we become tier 1 wellness warriors, then we become the human architect, where we literally can design our own life from the top down, inside out, and create a destiny that we choose to manifest one action at a time, one day at a time, one belief at a time. But long term, we can truly change our worlds, and therefore the world, for the better, by raising the collective consciousness as human architects and human athletes. But we have to get away from the human animal and get out of the human experience and make it human experiment and make it our own unique human experience. And so we need to awaken, balance, and align our wellness with our purpose and our passions in our true potential. And so as I'm telling you, the way out of the fake realities, the way out of the experiment, and the way out of being a mindless dependent conformist, the way to becoming a well-rounded, free-thinking, independent individual is wellness. And it starts with you, and it starts by taking responsibility. But listen, having a way isn't enough. There needs to be accountability. We have to be accountable to something. There has to be something, a code or a standard that we're going to abide to, right? So when we start taking control and responsibility for our wellness, that's just the first step. The second step is living up to the HDS standard, where I want you to become a holistic destroyer survivor. You don't make excuses. You don't do what's easy. We do what's right. We take what we have within us and we make that enough to become anything that we want to be. We're holistic. That's from the inside out. We use all of the components to become something greater than we would be if we just focused on a few of the components. We become a destroyer. We destroy negative energy. We eliminate it from our lives. We can destroy any challenge or obstacle that stand before us in line, in way and hindrance between us and our goals. And inevitably, we're going to have to be survivors. If you stand for something, people are going to try to tear you down. The world is going to try to break you down. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't stand for it. It means even more that what you're standing for is that much more important. So be a survivor. Don't persist, resist, stay strong. Don't let these little obstacles and challenges break you down. So many people set off to do something great and then they get stopped by the littlest challenges. But we are holistic destroyer survivors. That's the standard. And we are going to succeed no matter what. Because if at first you don't succeed, as holistic destroyer survivors, we can learn and grow. We don't ever fail. We learn and grow. We come back stronger. We become even more aware of our purpose. We're capable of our best potential, and we're prepared for the worst. That means we're ready for anything. Aware, capable, prepared, and able to succeed and learn and grow. Listen, if you've ever been out there and you've asked, there's got to be more than this. There's got to be better. Well, you're right, and you're in the right place. That's what's led you to being part of this HDS family, the HDS Podcast, the HDS Universe, and I welcome you. I'm glad you're here. This is my revolution. This is my renaissance of priorities and culture. We're going to build new ways of doing things, better ways, noble ways, honorable ways, and we're going to create and give out and promote and support positivity, positive art, positive education, positive things that influence the mind, and positive ways that we can build and better ourselves in the world, in our lives, and become something truly important, something truly world-changing. And it starts with me doing it for myself, and that's why I'm bringing it to you guys, because I've been doing it for a while now, and I'm ready to share it, and I'm ready to bring it to the world, and I need you guys to do it with me so that we can become the HDS Army and truly make a difference and make a better world for the future, for the kids, for their kids, and so on and so forth. So I'd like to welcome y'all to my movement, my standard. This is a collective, and this is a better way. Welcome to the HDS Allegiance. And if you want to join me, if you want to become a holistic destroyer survivor or support the movement or anything like that, please go to hdscoaching.com, try out some training, message me directly. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be there for you, help you grow your health, wealth, and happiness. I intend to have more podcast episodes coming soon. If you enjoy this, if you support the message, even if you don't like it, comment, share, pass this around. Please help me spread the word and build this movement into a global, world-changing, powerful faction that can win the woke. We're fighting back against the elitist ones that want to keep us, dependent, conformist, and mindless. And we're going to be top-tier, free-thinking, independent individuals. Holistic destroyer survivors, baby. Welcome to the Allegiance. My friends, I ask you to know thyself and be well. Take care of your wellness and become the best you can be. Live true to your potential and fulfill your purpose. I'm Harrison D. Seggebruch. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Army. We got this. We're going to change the world. Starts today, starts with us. Let's get it.